Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer, and this is the Road to the Record weekly review special for week 20 in the second year of the Gaming Decathlon competition. This week I brought in 2,379 points, nearly 150 points better than last week's total, but a little bit shy of the best round score of 2,691. Current virtual best did see a decent rise up to 3,190. And the all-time virtual best, small increase, 10 points this week, 5,328 on that. Looking at the 10 games individually, newcomer, Imperator Rome, 26 points. Good series so far. Good start to that one. We have broken out of the small nation status and into a regional power. And so new challenges faced when you got there, so it's not just constant expansion and growth. You get bonuses and penalties when you hit certain sizes, like the loss of alliances, for example. But I think I've done a really good job so far with that one, really starting to figure it out and making progress. And I think that score is going to shoot up a good amount if I can continue to play cautiously, carefully, but ultimately grow and expand. I think once I break out on technology, we'll really start to see that score ramp up quickly. I just finally hit level 1 on tech, which is really late in the game for that, but as what started as a migratory tribe, to then become a settled tribe and go from a local power to a regional power. Again, that's major progress, and our tech level is much better than it was initially, though I've got a long ways to go on that. Draft Esports College Basketball, close to the end of the season now, not quite there yet, but Conference D, I was really nervous about how things were going to go, and then pleasantly surprised that despite a young team this season, we're playing quite well and have a good chance of some sort of postseason action. And maybe, just maybe, I don't think it's going to happen, but we actually have a chance at promotion to Conference C, the third tier. So up and up. Draft Esports College Football 2019. This is the one that I'm going to break down the score on this week on where we're at, but this week I brought in 125 points. Technically the season is done, but no asterisk there, as I'll still have one more episode. There are still some weeks left, but breaking down that score, where it comes from, how did I get 125? Well, this one, pretty straightforward for the most part. There is a maximum of 300 points coming from regular season wins, because there are 12 games in the regular season, and you get 25 points for each victory. 125 right now. Do the math. We got 5 wins. And 7 losses, actually. That was pretty dang good, considering where we're at, technically, as it is a Road to Glory series in just Season 3. The other 700 points, they've got to come from somewhere else. But it's actually pretty simple on where those come from. So, if you play in your conference championship game, to lose that game is worth 100 points just for getting there and being a participant. But you win it, double that, 200 points. So that could get you to 500. From there, with the 12 season, by the way. From there, we have the other potential postseason action of either a bowl game, a regular bowl game, a BCS bowl game, or make it into the national championship playoff. Each of those is worth successively more points. So just making it to a bowl game, losing would be 75 points, but to win a bowl game is 150, and that's why my current record score is 300, because I won a bowl game and then had enough wins in the season to get 150 points. BCS bowl game, 200 to lose, 300 to win. And then finally the national championship playoff. Again, that starts with 4 teams, if you know your college football. Semifinal, so making it to the semifinal but losing, so one of the 2 teams to lose that first round would be a 300-point effort, equivalent of winning a BCS bowl game, and I think that's pretty fair. To make it to the final, so to win the semifinal but lose the final would be 400 points, and to win both of those games and be the national champion is worth 500 points. So unlike my college basketball series where it's more cumulative and it's lots and lots of seasons, this one is all about the perfect season. So the perfect season, 12-0, 300 points. Win the conference championship, 200 points, that's 500. And win the national championship is 500, that's 1,000. Back to the other 10. Motorsport Manager this week, I brought in 131 points. I continue to improve upon my total. That is all Constructors Championship points for the most part. Right now, the 131 is all Constructors Championship, but there are potential for others, and we'll look into that one more next week. Pro Cycling Manager, the career mode, 123 points. Big increase, 24-point increase from where we were, and that was all from just 2 tours, tour of Croatia and tour of the Gila. So strong performances in both of those, some stage wins, and taking a podium, 3rd place in both of those races, with high level of competition, high pro continental races, and so that was worth a good amount of points, and we jumped to 123 now. In the Pro Cyclist mode, still on 537. Been there for a while. I'm in the middle of the Tour de France. Oh, man. It's been rough. Fitness Peak. 2 in a row have been mathematically the worst outcome that they could possibly be. 2 weeks instead of the potential 3. That's shortened my rotation of that, my building and rebuilding of Fitness Peaks, by a couple weeks. And so I was on a Fitness Peak the first week of the Tour de France, and then it ended. And my fitness level was a bit low because I was trying to stall and delay it. Didn't work. So low fitness. No Fitness Peak after the first week ended. My freshness is getting wiped out really quick now. And I've fallen from 2nd place and fallen down to the back end of the top 10. So things have not gone well, and they're not looking like there's any potential to go back the other direction. So super disappointing, super sad about that one. Still sitting on 537 points though, so I still got a good chance of eclipsing my total from last season, and maybe, just maybe hitting 1,000. I don't think it's going to happen at this point. It could, but I don't think so. Football Manager 2019 was active this week. I brought in 10 more points on that, all from league scores. So that was 10 points in the league that I've picked up since the end of the last episode. NBA 2K19 inactive. F1 2018 career mode was inactive this week. And then Dirt Rally 2.0. Again, good race, bad result. Good race, bad result. Good race, bad result has been my trend lately. At least before it was terrible race, terrible result. Now I'm caught in that no man's land behind. In this last episode, I made 2 mistakes. Basically, I mean there was technically a third, but 2 mistakes the entire race, and it was the same spot on 2 different stages, where came off a corner, slid where I had the pace that I needed to have, but still slid, and hit a gate. Hit the same gate twice, and absolutely ruined my day, and I ended up with the most awful of results as I had my first ever DNF. No headlights, trying to drive in the dark, and then the game went buggy on me, at the worst time to do that when I already couldn't see, and I just ended up having to retire. Sucked a lot. I think I'm going to do my next race off camera on that one, get a little practice, and then come back for the final rally of the season for the next episode. But again, 2,379 was this week's total. Still a good bump from where I was a week ago, but disappointing because my top game, Pro Cyclist Manager, Pro Cyclist Mode, did not go how I had hoped. Most of the games, though, this is encouraging, are above 100 at this point. Only 2 below, and one of them by just 5 points. But on the all-time virtual best top 10 list, there is a small change as Football Manager 2019 moves up a spot from 8th to 7th, eclipsing Dirt Rally, the original Dirt Rally, at 449, and now sits just 1 point behind Factorio. It'll be a few weeks before we see an episode of Football Manager again, but in a few weeks' time, it's got to happen that we're going to get past Factorio. I've got a couple games that I'll be playing off camera, plus at least a couple on camera. In 4 games, I better score at least a point. In this case, in order to eclipse it, it's going to take 2 points. So out of 4 games, I better have at least 2 draws, if not even 1 win, to get ahead of that. And that'll bump it up another spot to 6th. The games on the outside of the top 10, no movement in score on those. So, yeah, that's where we're at. I did see movement, that career mode of Pro Cycling Manager, and that saw a healthy bump, 24 points higher. But at 123, it's got a long ways to go to crack the top 10. It's possible before the end of the season it will do that, though, as we've just reached the end of March or April. Either way, there's a lot of seasons still to go. I think it might have been April. So 4 months out of 10 months played, that's pretty iffy on whether I'm going to get much more than about 300 points this season at the rate that I'm currently going. But again, that's still 300 points, much better than the 98 from last season. Anyway, that's a look back on this week's action here on the Decathlon Gamers Gaming Decathlon Challenge. So, if you have any specific requests for me, I'm starting to get a few more views on these videos. I don't know if people are actually watching them to the end or not. But either way, as the channel's growing, I am starting to get a little bit of attention here on this side of things. And if you have anything specific that you're curious about, let me know in the comments, and I'll be sure to highlight that in next week's review video. But that's going to do it for this review special. I'm Decathlon Gamer, and I'll see you next week. Bye for now.